Over the past 6 seasons, Game of Thrones has generated a lot of bizarro fan theories. Some people have claimed that Roose Bolton is a secret Dracula, others have said that Ned Stark didn't die and he warged into ill and pain, and some, including yours truly, have asked the all-important question: is Varys secretly a mermaid? Yes, he is. While those likely won't bear any narrative fruit, a new fan theory's been making the rounds this month, and it's gotten more legs to it than most, at least more legs than a mermaid. Now, this fan theory comes courtesy of Redditor Follow the Beard, and puts forth the idea that Azor Ahai, the legendary prophesized prince that was promised, the warrior of light, the Lord's chosen, the cool dude with a rude toot who's gonna defeat all the White Walkers and save us all, is none other than Davos Seaworth. Gasp you should, dear viewer, because this theory isn't as crazy as it sounds.
Me.
We're gonna break down exactly what it means on today's episode of The Dan Cave. Now, before we get any further, here's your spoiler warning for all things Game of Thrones, both books and TV, if you're not caught up.
Apologies for what you're about to see.
Now, Sir Davos Seaworth isn't just my favorite character on the show, he may well be its most important if this theory proves true. But first, let's start with the question of who the hell is Azor Ahai anyway, and why is he so important? Well, about 8,000 years ago, back when the White Walkers were marching on the realms of men and generally wrapping their bony fingers around the proverbial throat of Westeros, a hero arose to team up with the Children of the Forest. You know those weird little spell-slinging nymphs that we saw? They throw like the colored bombs, they're like, oh no, White Walkers. Anyway, they beat the Bone Brigade back beyond the wall, to the land of eternal winter, aka the New England of Westeros, and many have theorized that hero, known as the last hero, was none other than Azor Ahai. Now, there's a prophecy that goes along with this, and it goes as follows, as laid out in A Clash of Kings chapter 10, which coincidentally is a Davos chapter.
Thank you very much.
There will come a day after a long summer when the stars bleed and the cold breath of darkness falls heavy on the world. In this dread hour, a warrior shall draw from the fire a burning sword, and that sword shall be Lightbringer, the red sword of heroes, and he who clasps it shall be Azor Ahai, come again, and the darkness shall flee before him. It's a pretty good prophecy. Now, this quote is modified slightly when Melisandre tells Jon Snow in A Dance of Dragons that, quote, when the red star bleeds and the darkness gathers, Azor Ahai shall be born again amid smoke and salt to wake dragons out of stone. Okay, so let's break all this down. Basically, Azor Ahai is going to come back when the world needs him most, wielding the burning sword Lightbringer, the mythical blade that was tempered by plunging it into Azor Ahai's wife's a heart. Oh, that sucks. According to Follow the Beard's theory, they start laying the clues that Sir Davos is actually Azor Ahai reborn as early as season 2. Remember that fun and flirty beachside ceremony where Melisandre burns the new gods in effigy and has Stannis draw a flaming sword from the pyre? Yeah, it was super fun, they had some great guac, you were there. Anyway, Stannis does his solemn duty, draws the sword, sticks the burning blade into the sand, but as we all know, Stannis was not the legendary warrior promised, as evidenced by his untimely demise at the hands of Brienne of Tarth a few seasons later.
Go and do your duty.
So, who took up that proverbial Lightbringer? None other than Sir Davos Seaworth. At the end of that season 2 scene, Davos picks up the sword and walks off with it. Now, remember that bit from the quote about how there will come a day when the stars bleed? Pretty apocalyptic. Well, there's a red comet, a bleeding star, that can be seen in the sky above Westeros and Essos all throughout season 2. And some people, like Osha for example, thought that it would mean the return of dragons to the world. But if you believe this theory literally, it is literally a bleeding star as foretold in the prophecy. What about the rest of that quote about how the darkness gathers? Well, it's kind of like in the movie Dodgeball, where it's metaphorical,
But that actually happened.
I get it.
Think back to the Battle of Blackwater, the Baratheon ships coming into Blackwater Bay under the Shroud of Darkness. But then, the night done got lit up by dragonfire exploding all around their ships, blowing many of them, including Sir Davos, to smithereens, sending him into the salt of the ocean amidst the smoke of the fire. And when he washed up on the rocky shoals a few days later, his smuggler pal Salador San remarked, "You've only just come back to life. Stay alive a little longer, my friend." And Stannis told his erstwhile hand, "I had heard you were dead." Well, maybe he was, dear viewer, or maybe he was born again amid smoke and salt.
What?
I know. You're ready to throw your monitor out the window in a fit of rapturous joy now that we've cracked this prophecy open wider than a coffin big enough to accommodate Hodor. Too soon?
Hodor.
Anyway, there's still that pesky matter of that bit about waking dragons from stone. What does it mean, waking dragons from stone? I don't get it. I'd like to think it means Sir Davos is gonna turn Dragonstone into this, like, giant automaton transformer a la Breath of the Wild to kick some White Walker ass, but in reality, it refers to Sir Davos raising Jon Snow from the dead. Yeah, that's right. I know you thought it was the Red Woman Melisandre this whole time with her vagina demons and her statement necklaces, but no. Recall season 6, episode 2, when Jon Snow was lying dead as a doornail on a stone slab at Castle Black, freshly murdered by his so-called brothers of the Night's Watch and that traitorous little shit Ollie. you, Ollie. I still hate you. Now, Melisandre had seemingly given up hope on bringing Jon Snow back from the dead because the Red God wasn't answering any of her text messages, even though she had red receipts on. Thankfully, Sir Davos didn't give up. He gave Melisandre the kind of speech that would inspire a struggling youth sports team to overcome a gang of bullies in an epic underdog victory in the third act of an apocryphal Disney movie.
F them then. F all of them.
But even that didn't seem to work. Melisandre leaves, Dolorous Edd leaves, Tormund Giantsbane leaves. The only one who doesn't leave is Sir Davos. As Follow the Beard wisely points out, there's a protracted moment of silence as Sir Davos intensely observes Jon. He's not just checking out Kit Harington's bod that just won't quit, he's performing some kind of inner monologue or ritual to bring everyone's favorite bastard back to life. And lo and behold, shortly after Davos finally leaves, what happens? Old Johnny Boy's eyes shoot open and that bastard starts breathing again. Thus, Sir Davos, not Melisandre, is the one who woke the dragon from stone. But what about the dragon part, you ask? Jon Snow doesn't have leathery wings outside the confines of my DeviantArt page, and he most certainly can't breathe fire. Well, you got me there, folks, with your weird voice I just described to all of you. Just kidding. No, you don't! If we look to another recently confirmed fan theory, we know that R plus L equals J. And this isn't just a math equation for Kyle Hill to solve, it's the story of Jon Snow's parentage. Let me break that down. R as in Rhaegar Targaryen plus L as in Lyanna Stark equals J as in Jon Snow. Rhaegar Targaryen is Jon Snow's true father, not Ned Stark. And the symbol of the Targaryens is what? Say it with me, a three-headed dragon. Thus, when Davos brings Jon back to life from a stone slab, he's waking a dragon, Jon Snow, from stone. Boom! I wish I had a microphone so I could drop it. Now, adding further fuel to this fire is the fact that actor Liam Cunningham, who plays Davos on the show, has mentioned in interviews with Rolling Stone and Conan O'Brien that the first time he met George R.R. Martin, the author told him a secret that he hadn't told anyone else.
He said, don't tell anybody, so I'm not telling anybody.
Did he whisper that the Onionite was indeed the prince who was promised? Or maybe he confirmed our other favorite fan theory about Azor Ahai, that Jaime Lannister is really the prince that was promised, reborn. And for more on that one, check out Alicia Lutz's post on Nerdist.com. But in the meantime, let us know what you think about this particular Game of Thrones fan theory. Do you buy it? If not, who is the prince who was promised? Let us know in the comments below and give us a thumbs up that was promised as well. Come on, you promised. Now be sure to like and subscribe or else you might miss next week's show about the story of Sylvester Stallone playing a small-town sheriff who has to navigate the politics of corrupt cops, murders most foul, and help an orphaned brontosaurus escape ecological devastation in Copland before time. Until next time, keep on digging. Let's open up the old mailbag, shall we? At D Hinman 909 asks, which character in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, makes the best pizza? Ha! That's a great question, Doug. Something I've wondered about for probably too many hours to admit right now. A bunch. I'm gonna go with The Vision. Now I know what you're thinking. Dan, that dude can't even make a classic Sokovian dish right. He puts in too much pepper cash, which is just paprika, as we all know. But no, I think that he is probably the best equipped because he can make precisely the best pizza according to the best recipe in the world. I think that he is the only one who can make a good pizza in the MCU. You want to say that Tony Stark can make a good pizza? You want to say Captain America can make a good pizza? You want to say Thor can make one? I think you're full of it. I think you're lying. But let me know. Who do you think makes the best pizza in the MCU? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.